Fire safety at work. The aim of this short course is to give you an understanding of the nature of fire, fire hazards and risks, fire prevention at work, how to select and use a portable fire extinguisher safely. At the end of this course, you'll have an understanding of fire, be able to reduce the fire risk at work, know what to do when the fire alarm sounds, know what to do if you find a fire, and be able to correctly and safely select and use a fire extinguisher. Why do we do this training? Because many people are unnecessarily injured by fire at work each year. Between 2017 and 2018, there were 245 fatalities at work. Because the law specifically requires employers to train its staff in fire safety, and because the fire risk assessments flagged a need to train staff in fire safety. The lesson plan. There will be a pre-course assessment. I will be asking you 5 questions, and at the end of the course you should be able to give me 5 correct answers. We'll be looking at fire hazards and risk, a case study, the nature of fire, fire procedures, different fire extinguishers, and then the end of course assessment. So to begin, the pre-course knowledge. First question, what are the 3 things that are needed for a fire to exist? Number 2, what do you think is the most common cause of fire in industrial premises? Number 3, what would you think is the average maximum time allowed for a fire evacuation? Number 4, what is the colour of a modern CO2 fire extinguisher? And number 5, what extinguisher would you use if your computer caught fire? Fire hazards and risk. Question. What is the difference between a hazard and a risk? The answers. A hazard is something with potential to cause harm or loss. The risk is the likelihood that the hazard will actually cause that harm or loss. Hence we have the name risk assessments. The image you're looking at now is a fire that took place at Bradford Football Stadium on the 11th of May 1985. How long do you think from the first flame until what we see there? How many people died? And why? From the first flame until what we see there, which is a good half the football stadium on fire, it took between 2 to 3 minutes. At the time, people were allowed to smoke in public places like football stadium, and the theory is that this fire was actually caused by someone dropping a lit cigarette end. 56 people lost their lives. And why? Very poor standards of fire safety. So what is fire? It's the rapid oxidation of fuel involving heat particulates, gases and non-ionizing radiation. For a fire to exist, we need 3 things: oxygen, fuel and heat. Remove any one of these elements and the fire cannot exist. Sources of ignition: smoking, electrical equipment, portable heaters, contractors' tools and equipment, and arson. Different fuels that can be involved: paper, boxes, etc. Expanded polystyrene beads, plastics, solvents, carpets, furniture, and waste materials. The classes of fire. Class A fire, free burning materials such as paper, wood, plastics. Class B fire, flammable liquids, petrol, methylated spirits, solvents. Class C fire, flammable gases, methane, hydrogen. Class D fire, metals, potassium, sodium, magnesium. Class F fires, cooking fats. Traditionally the most common cause of fires on domestic property, especially on a Friday and Saturday night. And electricity can be involved in any class of fire. Now before we go further, if you encounter metals on fire, in other words a Class D fire, never attempt to put them out with any form of extinguisher. Just take specialised chemicals that the fire service carry. Fire prevention, which is everyone's responsibility. Be mindful of fire safety. Don't block fire exits, call points or extinguishers. Have a no smoking policy, strictly enforced. Take care when cooking. Observe good security. And do not wedge fire doors open. A fire door is there to prevent the spread of fire. Fire procedure. On hearing the fire alarm, you leave the building immediately using the nearest exit. You take the shortest and safest route, walk quickly but do not run, closing doors behind you. Do not delay your exit to collect your belongings. Your belongings can be replaced. You've got families, and as far as your family is concerned, you are irreplaceable. Attend the fire assembly point and report to the fire warden. Do not return to the building until you are told it is safe to do so. On fire procedure, on finding a fire, you sound the fire alarm. Fight the fire if you are competent and you consider it safe to do so. Evacuate as normal fire procedure and inform the fire warden. Do not fight the fire if the fire is bigger than a small waste paper bin. If one extinguisher is enough. If the smoke is affecting your breathing, you cannot see your way out. Gas cylinders or chemicals are involved, and your efforts are not reducing the size of the fire. Different types of fire extinguisher. Water, red body, white labelling. Suitable for use on Class A fires such as wood, paper, etc. Not suitable for combustible liquids, cooking fats. Not safe to use on fires involving electricity. And it extinguishes by cooling. Multi-purpose foam, red body with a cream label. Suitable for Class A and B fires. Not suitable for use on fires involving electricity. And it extinguishes by cooling and sealing the surface of a burning liquid. Dry powder, red body, blue label. Best on Class B fires but safe to use on any type of fire. Works by chemically interfering with the combustion reaction. And carbon dioxide, red body, black label. Do not use on Class A fires. This is gas under pressure and you will blow any burning materials all over the place. Safe to use on fires involving electricity. It extinguishes by reducing oxygen levels and cooling. The fire blanket, normally found in kitchens. Any coloured body or label, but usually they're either red or white. For use on any type of fire, but best on small contained fires, Class B fires, and people on fire. It extinguishes by asphyxiating. Bear in mind fire safety at home. Fit and maintain a smoke detector. Bin the chip pan. Check around at night. Close the doors at night. And prepare an escape plan. So post-course knowledge. Answers to the questions. The three things we need for a fire to exist is fuel, heat and oxygen. Remove any one of those and the fire can no longer exist. These are the universal principles throughout the world of firefighting. The biggest cause of fire on industrial premises is arson. With fire evacuation, Health and Safety Fire Regulation states that everyone should be out of the building and standing in fresh air within 3 minutes. What is the colour of the CO2 extinguisher? Red. All extinguishers have a red body. And what extinguisher would you use if your computer was on fire? Carbon dioxide, CO2. Thank you.